this article in the Monarch Review is a really great primer as to what I do. It's jam full of links, and basically a journalist by the name of Posterbot came out and went on a patrol with me where I was going out to film the police. So it was like a ride-along with a cop watcher. So he went out on patrol with me and filmed all the stops and documented everything. You know, and in this research that he was doing over that evening for the article, we actually had quite a few positive interactions with cops that knew me. There was a canine officer that let me pet his dog. I've been doing this for 6 years, and there's a lot of cops that if they weren't, you know, in uniform and I knew them in the public, you know, we could be friends, you know, if they take the uniform off and be a human being, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, that brings up an interesting point. I figure the answer is yes, you do know about this study. I forget when it was done or what university or whatever actually did it. The one where they did a study where half the students were put in guard uniforms and the other half were portraying prisoners, and they actually right, and they had to call off the study because the
You're talking about the Stanford University
that's it.
Prison study. Now, at Stanford University in the 70s, I think it was like 1976 or 1975. I might have the year wrong, but it was like right in the mid-70s. And they had two groups. It was a psychology experiment. And as you just said, you know, half of the students, the college kids, played guards, and half of the college kids played prisoners. And within a few, just a couple days, the guards and prisoners started to form a whole lot of resentment between one another. These people that are just role playing, you know, the guards and the prisoners, and basically there was some violence that almost went to a place to where someone got seriously hurt. The guards basically became more and more totalitarian, and more that both groups, the prisoners and the guards, started to, you know, basically act out as if though they were really prisoners and really prison guards. And it got out of hand. There was a lot of information that was buried because of multiple lawsuits that was filed by parents of some of these kids. And yeah, it's just really weird when you give someone a uniform or the idea of authority. They start to act out on it. It starts to bring out naughty things in their personality. It seems that uniforms have the potential to bring out man's inhumanity to man. And that's one of the things as an anti-authoritarian or an anarchist that I want to challenge. I think that people, you know, should not hide behind things like uniforms. I mean, well, my biggest problem with law enforcement, I'd have to say, is that it's a profession that attracts a certain kind of personality. Unfortunately, it attracts a sociopath. You know, a normal person, you know, a person with a normal moral compass, like myself or you, for instance. You know, when a normal person is confronted with a moral choice, you know, when something happens involving their interaction with another human being, and they have to choose what's right and what's not right, a normal person, you know, thinks about what's moral, what's just, and what's correct, and then they act. A sociopath is going to judge their potential risk versus their potential reward, and then they're going to act in a way that mitigates risk and gives them the maximum amount of advantage out of the situation. So it's basically like a user, you know, or somebody who's going to use all of the power that they have to get the maximum amount of advantage out of it. And sociopaths most defining trait is the fact that they don't really feel emotions the way everyone else does. They're more like a lizard, a Cambrian lizard that would eat its own children. That's a sociopath. Someone who can't really access empathy for other people. Now, on the flip side, what gets really weird about sociopaths is that they're really good at mimicking emotions and feelings. So when a person with a normally aligned moral compass is trying to figure out who a sociopath is, they look like a very emotional person. But they're really mimicking these emotions and these mental mind states just to manipulate you into getting you back on course for whatever risk versus reward scenario they have running in their mind. So unfortunately, law enforcement, since you're in a position of power and you have all these legal protections and all this authority and all these kind of special legal conditions that apply to you but no one else in our society, sociopaths are naturally attracted to that profession.
Wow, very well said. One of the main reasons that we've gotten together here today is to create a how-to guide to help people wherever they may be, because this will be on the internet, help them create their own group relating to accountability and just a better police-people interaction. Now, just from my side, I was thinking that, where do I go from here? You're the expert. You mentioned putting something out on Facebook. I did that even before I contacted you. Apparently, there's really nothing going on in the area on that level. So this will be, for this area, the beginning. I was wondering about maybe posting something in the newspaper, something nice, talking about what it is that I'm looking to form and why.
Okay.
And at the same time, I'd just like to throw this in there too. This also relates to something that you said that basically is a statement that says, hey, not all police are bad guys, and I totally agree with that. I've met some very nice officers over the years. And at the same time, not all citizens are good guys. So either way, not all citizens are good guys or bad guys. Not all police officers, law enforcement are good guys or bad guys. And there's this whole us against them mentality that we've been seeing spreading across the entire United States. Now, it was like that when I was a kid too. This is nothing that's actually new. But it is something
it's literally hundreds of years old.
Yeah,
the dichotomy you're talking about.
That probably relates to what you were just talking about, relating to the sociopathic mentality, uniform, not uniform, control.
Well, Sure. Well, before we get lost, let me address what you asked. Okay, I think it's very important for you to sit down if you're going to found an FTP chapter, a Film the Police chapter, if you to sit down and just write yourself a brief paragraph stating what you want to accomplish. And then I want you to publish it publicly. Like start an FTP, chapter and start a Facebook group, okay? And write a mission statement. I'm interested in filming the police to keep them accountable, but I want to do it in a something, paraphrase me, but I want to do it in a non-confrontational way, and I like the idea of civic engagement, and, if you're interested in participating or going out on patrol with me, contact me at this email address. Just a brief little paragraph explaining, that you're not going to interfere with the police.